hello to you, Sir Ed. You were a carer for most of your life. What are your thoughts on this latest news?
I'm still a carer, actually. I'm really worried about this latest news. I read the story that Sky has of Mr. and Mrs. Carson and Livingston, who have had their care, which they rely on, being removed with no discussion. And it looks like the SNP government are failing tens of thousands of people across Scotland, I'm afraid across the whole United Kingdom, with Labour's refusal to act quickly on social care and actually making it worse with the rise in national insurance. I think things are going from bad to worse. I didn't think that would happen. The Conservatives left the health service and our care system in a disastrous state. Labour's failure to act is making it worse, and councils and millions of people are really struggling.
Yeah, you're referring, of course, to Nick Martin's excellent piece earlier in the week featuring Angela and Graham. Angela told us that she doesn't exist, that if she wasn't here anymore, it wouldn't matter. How can people feel that way in 21st century Britain?
It's tragic, isn't it? And my heart goes out to Mrs. and Mrs. Carson, but they're like tens of thousands of others in Scotland and hundreds of thousands across our country, where care is being taken away from disabled people, from elderly people who've had it in the past and it's now no longer there. And then there's loads of people, even many more, who are waiting for assessments for care, to get the care that they need, and it's not there. And what makes me so cross about this is that there was a package put forward in 2014. Liberal Democrat ministers put it forward. It was properly funded, and then the Conservatives refused to implement it in 2015 when they were governing alone, and they preferred big tax cuts for the big banks rather than investing in our care. So we've had the opportunity in the past to solve this. Liberal Democrats have championed it in the past, and we're going to keep championing it until they listen, until they make the reforms which would transform the lives of millions of our fellow citizens.
Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary, has outlined various reviews underway into social care. But what more should the government be doing to try and speed up that process?
Well, they have said they're going to set up a commission into social care, and they tell us it's going to be cross-party, and we welcome that because we'd argued for that. But I'm afraid they've set a timetable which is just not acceptable. They said it's going to take at least 3 years. I'm afraid we can't wait. We believe this can be done this year so we can implement the changes that people need. And it's crucial for those people who need care and their families and their loved ones. It's also crucial for the NHS, okay, because without reforming social care, you'll never sort out the problems in our health service. And so I can't understand why Labour, who promised change, are refusing to implement it at the pace that people expected. It could be done, but we don't seem to have the political will in number 10 to do it. I've asked the Prime Minister 3 weeks in a row about this, trying to urge him to change his mind, and we'll keep doing that. We'll keep putting the pressure. The Conservatives are silent on it, of course, because they created the mess. They've got no ideas. We had costly solutions at the last election. We put them forward. You remember, Kay, we put health and care right at the centre of our election manifesto. We're going to keep campaigning on that to get the reforms that millions of people need.
Sure. While we've got you more generally, what do you want to hear from the Chancellor today?
Well, she's got to make this growth speech. They've seen it trailed, and we do need growth in our economy to get the jobs that people need, to get the improving living standards, increases in pay, and also the money for our public service. So growth is absolutely critical, so there's no debate about that. I'm slightly worried, though, well, more than slightly worried, that the growth they're talking about won't happen for quite some time, and we need growth now. And we're calling for the government to go for the option that's on the table, much better trading relations with our European partners. The Conservatives put up barriers to trade. They made it more costly, more delays. And that's really hurt our economy. It's hurt small and medium-sized businesses trying to export to Europe. And the government could get rid of some of those very quickly. I made a speech recently calling for a new UK EU customs union, which would go a big way to solving this problem. It could be done within the next few years, and it would unlock a whole set of economic opportunities here and now. So I think the government have got to take more action with this European opportunity that Liberal Democrats are championing.
Are you a third runway denier?
No, I think there's real problems with the third runway proposal. If you look at what's happened over the years, both Conservative and Labour parties have changed their position, partly because they're not sure whether it will bring the growth and realising that if it brings growth, it may take quite some time. So Liberal Democrats want to make sure we're taking measures to grow our economy now. And that's why we put such a big emphasis on getting rid of the barriers and the costs and the bureaucracy that the Conservatives introduced for our traders.
OK, good to see you as always. Thanks for taking the time. Thank you.